What is going on, world? What's up, everyone? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new StarCraft 2 video. This one is between two players on the WCS Pro circuit, spawning here in the top right hand corner of 16-bit LE, playing with the red Zerg pieces. He's very well known in the StarCraft 2 Pro scene and is a very fun Zerg player to watch, to say the least. His name is Snute. And his opponent, spawning in the cross position, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. He is a very exciting StarCraft 2 pro gamer as well. He's been around the scene for a very long time. His name is Stephano. So guys and girls, I'm really excited about this game and this series in particular that was played at the WCS in Austin and was one of the games within the round of 16. So all these games, of course, do matter in the grand scheme of things when you talk about these pro gamers trying to make a, continue on into the tournament. And the deeper you go in the tournament, of course the prize pool is higher, but also you have those opportunities at getting invited to BlizzCon, which of course is the biggest tournament of the year for these StarCraft 2 pro gamers. That said, I'm excited about this game, guys. I really am. I'm excited about this series between these two players. The ZvZ matchup is one of mine games, and it is a lot of fun to watch, to say the least. It looks like Stephano is going to go for the Hatch Gas Pool Opener, and it looks like Snute is going ahead. He's getting he's going for the quick 3 hatch. And he's kind of skipping out on the gas, at least for the time being, going for that spawning pool. So a little bit of a change in, I guess you could say, build orders. As you can see from this top left-hand corner, a lot of times in the early game, you'll see very similar build orders, I know, on either side of the map, though. For these two players, it has not been similar as of right now, as Snute is going to try to really get on 3 very fast hatcheries, and his opponent is more so just going for the standard 2 bases, going ahead and getting an evolution chamber out. So it looks like Stephano is very well, he looks like he's going to start kind of trying to get those, maybe those +1 upgrades for his ground-based units, and he must know that there may be something a little bit fishy going on. But the same thing is Snute has a spine crawler going up. So I think Snute obviously thinks that something might be going on here on the opposite side of the map with Stephano. We'll have to kind of keep our eyes on that, because this matchup can usually get extremely intense very quickly, simply because the players, there's just so many units that start moving across the map so quickly. A couple of those Zerglings of Stephano's are going to be nibbled away. They will retreat at this point. So Snute looks like he's trying to build, he really wants to build up his economy, but at the same time he's also got a little bit of some stellar defensive structures that he's starting to build here to try to, of course, just in the event that Stephano decides to get aggressive, he can have, of course, those proper structures ready to go. So Snute looks like he is going to go ahead and going to start moving across the map with Stephano. Gets a little bit of some scouting information, which I think is very much so something that he definitely wanted to do. We are going to see Metabolic Boost is going to be researched right now out of Stephano, which of course is a Zergling speed upgrade. +1 is also going to be researched as well. And then on the opposite side, we're seeing the Roach Warren coming in for Snute. So he's probably going to get his upgrade started. He's also got that Roach Warren going. So both these players look like, at this point they're starting to give each other a little bit of that respect that they definitely rightfully deserve. Now, Stephano is getting more and more Zerglings out, so this is kind of interesting. I wonder if he's going to try to maybe do a little bit of some damage to one of these bases, simply because they're a little bit vulnerable, even though there are a decent amount of queens out. These Zerglings, and it does look like Snute is going to see exactly what's going on. There are a lot of Zerglings that are moving across the map here, and it does look like right off the rip, Snute's going to go and go for the full wall off here with the double evolution chambers, as there is a lot of Zerglings that are moving across the map, and they are going to go ahead and get Of course, they are going to start nibbling away at that structure, which is the evolution chamber. The question is there going to be enough here? I think there absolutely will be. That spine collar is in a perfect position, and then at the same time, you also have the roaches and the queens there as well. The evolution chamber is staying up just barely. Another evolution chamber is going up. And very interestingly enough, though, the defense has been absolutely on point so far for Snute. Here we go. It does look like that structure does go down. And Stephano looks like he's going to once again try to get in there, but there's just way too much there to hold on as both players are going for their layers. So they're going to get started on those higher tier layer-based units. So, you know, so far the defense absolutely on point. It was more the scout that came in for Snute, who with those couple of Zerglings over at that natural, or I should say that third base location, he saw exactly what was going on. And so Snute playing very well so far early on in this game, just playing his opponent like a book. And it does look like we are going to see Glad Reconstitution coming out of Stephano for his roaches, and the same can be said now for Snute. Snute's getting those +1/+1 ground-based unit upgrades so far, and I gotta say, it does look like Snute is going to be in a real position of power at this point. Now, we are going to see Snute also going for that infestation pit, so it does look like he may very well be going up to a hive here shortly. And I do not believe, yeah, so Snute's got this, he's got I really like the positioning that Snute is in currently. Glad Reconstitution is going to be finishing up in less than 10 seconds for Stephano, but now a fourth base is going to be coming in now for Snute, and Snute can really start to chip away at getting just a really nice booming economy, but he's also ahead of the supply. Now, Stephano wants to try to get somewhat of an edge here. It does seem like he at least wants to see if there's any types of damage that he can maybe do with these Zerglings. Missile attacks level 1 is completing, as well as Glad Reconstitution. Now, it looks like Stephano is going to be going in for an attack here on this fourth base location, trying to kind of split up his army and do as much damage as he possibly can, but I wonder if there's just a little bit too much for Snute, as he is taking out a lot of these units. He's got a lot now. He did get the cancel on that fourth hatchery, so that's a really nice pickup there for Stephano, kind of delaying that fourth hatchery. But I just wonder, as Snute's going here, the longer that this game goes, the question is Stephano going to have enough to really hold on here, even though he is now going on, he's got that fourth base that is up at this point. He's probably going to start droning very shortly from it. And it looks like we're starting to move into the later stages of the game as we pass the 8-minute mark. And it looks like the Hydralisk Den is going to be coming in now for Stephano. Now, it does look like Nematized Carapace is going to be coming in for both players, so we're going to see those Overlords moving a little bit faster across the map. But we are seeing now Snute is kind of showing us exactly what he's planning on doing. He's getting those infestors out, and I like that decision a lot to begin the infestors at this point in the game. So, you know, of course, we haven't seen the hive come into effect as of yet, but we definitely see Burrow at this point is just around the corner now. Now, it does look like Hive is being constructed at this point for Snute as well, so he's going to be able to get those higher tier Hive-based units, and it does look like there's just a lot of red Zerg I'm seeing, as he's almost fully, you know, he's going to be at almost 200 supply at this point in the game. And I really like the position Snute's in. Now, Stephano is not out of this thing by any stretch of the imagination. He is absolutely still in this thing, as he is going ahead and getting that Lurker Den out as well. So we're going to probably be seeing Lurkers here shortly, and I do like that decision as well. I think the Lurkers are going to be really great for Stephano. It's all going to come down to the positioning of both of these players, though, and that's what we're going to have to kind of keep in mind. Here we go. It does look like Snute is feeling very confident. He's going to try to pounce around on top of this army as he continues pushing Stephano back. The question is there going to be a little bit of overextension at this point? And it does look like at the same time, A few of these roaches are trying to do some damage, but it looks like Stephano has had enough. He is going to go after this entire army. Oh my god, beautiful play here by Snute. He is absolutely doing so much with not only those vials, but just pouncing on this army with the fungal growth. He is absolutely doing so much damage. It does look like a few of these roaches are behind, trying to do a little bit some damage to those infestors, but there is just so much red Zerg at this point in the game, doing a lot of damage to these units, and even all these reinforcing units are starting to get surrounded. Here we go. It looks like Stephano is absolutely being decimated right now as Snute is doing just so much damage. Can he hold on much longer? He is still in this game. If he can just hold on a little bit longer as the reinforcements come in, because he is trying to counterattack at the same time, but there is just so much red Zerg on the opposite side of the map. It looks like Snute is trying to take a 1-0 early lead against his opponent in this round of 16 match at the WCS in Austin and take an early advantage against his opponent. But once again, there is still a little bit of some counterattacks, but I just don't know if it's going to be enough, as Stephano is now so far behind. The lair has gone down, and so many units destroyed, and GG is called, and Snute takes game number 1 against his opponent in dominating fashion. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between Snute and Stephano, and if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I'll see you guys all in game number 2. What is going on, world? What's up, everyone? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new StarCraft 2 video. This one is between two players on the WCS Pro circuit. Spawning here in the top left hand corner of Acid Plant LE, playing with the red Zerg pieces. He's currently up by 1 game and wants to keep this series rolling in his favor. His name is Snute. And his opponent, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of the map, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. He's currently down in this series, but certainly not out of it just yet. His name is Stephano. Okay, so game number 2, guys, in this best of 5 series that was played at the WCS in Austin, and was, of course, one of the games within the round of 16 of that tournament. In game number 1, it felt like there was a little bit of some back and forth, but Snute just overall, from pretty much right off the rip, when there was that possibility that Stephano was going to have a little bit of an edge, or was going to go for a little bit of a timing attack, Snute saw it with two Zerglings and ended up being able to kind of create and construct the necessary structures in order to hold on. So his defense was very much so on point, and then his offense, that kind of just translated to incredible offense by Snute, and just kind of overwhelmed Stephano in the later stages of the game. The question is, though, is what does Snute do in this game now to go up and take a commanding lead in this series? So it looks like he's going to go for that hatch gas pool opener, so very standard on his end. The same can be said for Stephano. So you'll see at the top left-hand corner of the production tab, a lot of times in the early stages of the ZvZ matchup, you'll see very, I guess you could say, similarities in the production tabs early on in the game. And then when you start moving into the later stages of the game is when you generally see kind of the strategies really coming out of these players as to what it is that they plan on doing. And strategies are consistently evolving in StarCraft 2, and that's why, you know, it is the real-time strategy game of our time. And so, you know, the narrative, of course, is kind of, you know, okay, it's building around, okay, Snute's defense translated to great offense. But here's the other thing, is Stephano. Okay, so what is he going to do to try to get back into this series? What is he going to do? And I mean, for me personally, if I'm in his scenario, I feel like I would get a little bit aggressive once again, and maybe go for some more timing attacks. Snute plays, generally speaking, a very standard kind of game, a standard like macro focus game. He will, of course, get aggressive at times, but it seems like more times than not, you are going to see him pretty much play a pretty standard game. That said, it looks like Snute is going for the quick third hatchery. The same can be said for Stephano, and still very similar in those production tabs, as the Baneling nests are going to be coming out. So we're going to be seeing Banelings, metabolic boost is being researched at this point, and a lot of Zerglings are on that production tab for Stephano. Bailey Ness is going to be finishing up here shortly for both players, and it looks like this is where it's going to get interesting, because a lot of times in the current, in the meta, you see, of course, Zerglings into Banelings into Roaches, and then as the later stages of the game go, a lot of times you'll start seeing those Hydralisks possibly, and maybe even those higher tier hive-based units in the later stages as well. So here we go. This is where there's just ends up being just so much. It's so chaotic. Things are going on all over the map. And it does look like a handful of Zerglings are going to go after that third base location of Snute. And here we go. It's going to be that jawing back and forth that's really going to really going to give us the tail of the tape. Banelings are also going to be coming out here or morphing in here very, very shortly. It's all going to come down to these Baneling hits. Got to be very, very careful. You do not want to lose these, all these Zerglings for practically, free. But here we go. That tussle, that jostling back and forth is what the ZvZ matchup is all about. And it does look like a lot of Zerglings are starting to move across the map now for Snute. He's also getting that Roach Warren out. So the question is he going to go for a possible timing attack here, as we're seeing both players are starting to try to kind of get a feel for one another. We see an Evolution Chamber coming in now for Stephano. And it does look like more and more Zerglings are being added to the mix, whereas that Roach Warren, it looks like Snute's starting to give us a kind of a feel for what he's thinking at this point, as he's trying to go for his counterattack of his own. Zerglings are starting to get this round on that queen. They do get a queen. That is a nice pickup for Snute. And it looks like Stephano might be in a little bit of some trouble. It looks like a lot of these Zerglings do go down, and the surround is happening on Stephano's third hatchery. So here we go. Once again, we're seeing the Roach Warren that's going to be coming out. We see an Evolution Chamber coming in now for Snute as well. So while this has all been going on, and Snute is really doing a good amount with a small handful of Zerglings, he is now backing this up with more Roaches. We're going to be getting some Roaches out. The lair's going to be coming in now for Stephano, but there is just a constant wave of red that is moving across the map. And if Stephano, oh, beautiful Baneling hits. It does look like if Snute is able to go ahead and get a lot of, if he's able to get this third hatchery, that could be huge for Snute. Here we go. Snute is going ahead and he's getting a lot of value out of small numbers of Zerglings, as he is just doing a ton of damage going after so many drones. Drone after drone is going down, and now here we go. The Roaches are moving out. It looks like this is going to be a possible all-out assault, as Stephano is being forced into a corner. He is going to have to do something at this point. If he can hold on, he'll be able to possibly live another day. But so many resources are coming out of Stephano at this point, and this is what it's forcing. And behind this, Snute's going ahead and he's getting that lair out. So that lair, he's going to be able to get those higher tier lair-based units, but 14 Roaches on that production tab. And it does look like the Roaches are moving across the map. So many Roaches, and this is where it's going to get very scary for Stephano if he is not able to hold on. Beautiful micro here, getting those, morphing in those Ravagers. So we're going to see a couple of Ravagers coming out as well. The Banelings and Zerglings. Now we are starting to see more and more resources coming out of Stephano. Is he going to be able to hold on though? So many Roaches are moving across the map here. Oh my god, the amount of damage that is being dealt is actually quite devastating to Stephano right now. It looks like those Banelings are going to try to get some of those hits, but it just looks like there is just so much red moving across the map, and there's just reinforcements galore. Stephano, can he hold on much longer? Snute wants to take a quick 2-0 lead over his opponent at the as we pass at 7.5 minute mark. The question is Snute going to go 2-0 in this series? It sure looks it, because Stephano's supply is absolutely plummeting. Oh my god, the amount of devastation and destruction coming out of Snute. Beautiful play here in these first couple of games, reading his opponent like a book. Snute is absolutely dominating when it comes to just outsmarting his opponent right now, as so much damage is coming in. And it's just a strength in numbers. More and more units moving across the map, Can Stephano hold on much longer as his supply reaches close to 50 supply? So much damage coming in here. Wow, Snute absolutely just playing, dominating his opponent at this point, and more Zerglings and Roaches trying to seal the deal, hitting in multiple angles at once. GG is called, and Snute takes a quick 2-0 lead over his opponent. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between Snute and Stephano, and if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I'll see you guys all in game number 3. Alrighty everyone, well, game number 3 in this best of 5 series that was played at the WCS in Austin and was one of the games within the round of 16 of that tournament. I'm really excited to see what ends up happening in this game and in this series, because we have had a very exciting series so far, and what a tournament the WCS in Austin has been. Just an absolutely incredible tournament. But that said, let's start introducing both our players, spawning here in the top left-hand corner of Dreamcatcher Ellie, playing with the red Zerg pieces. He's currently up in the series and wants to keep it rolling in his favor. His name is Snute. And his opponent spawning bottom right-hand corner of the map, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. He's currently down, but certainly not out of it just yet. His name is none other than Stephano. So guys and girls, this series, as I said, has been a very exciting one. It has been dominated up to this point by Snute, who has just been playing very, very well. He's kind of just been reading his opponent like a book in the first couple of games. The first game, really, there could have been a significant difference had Snute not scouted that there was a timing push coming with a good amount of Zerglings across the map, because then he probably wouldn't have had his defensive structures ready to go. But that's just why Snute is so good. He does such a good job at scouting and seeing exactly what his opponent is doing. Stephano's had his opportunities, but they've just been, you know, really kind of, they just haven't worked at this point because he's playing a player of the caliber of Snute. So I think at this point in this game, if you are Stephano, you're down by a couple of games, what do you do when you're going up against one of the best players out there in Snute? I mean, you know, just an absolute legend of the StarCraft 2, you know, playing StarCraft 2 at a very high level for a very long period of time. What do you do? And that's what's going to be interesting. Now, Snute, it looks like he's going to be going for the hatch gas pool opener. He's going to be going ahead and getting that metabolic boost upgrade, which of course is a Zergling speed upgrade. Pretty much the exact same can be said for Stephano. So we're seeing very mirroring images of each of these players as to what they are planning on doing very early on here. We are going to see we're going to see a third hatchery coming in for Stephano before Snute, but not too far behind Snute. So Baneling Nest is going to be coming in now for Stephano, and I know if you're in Stephano's position and you are down by a couple of games, what do you do to get back into the series? I mean, that's the big question, is just how do you outsmart your opponent, or just, you know, because there's so many mind games. The ZvZ matchup is one of mind games, and there's just so many different mind games that come into this matchup. It's going to be very interesting, to say the least, how this game kind of unfolds before us, as it does look like we are going to see Zerglings moving, and then we're also going to be seeing more and more coming into that production tab. Looks like Banelings are also going to start being constructed here by Stephano a little bit sooner than that of Snute. Nonetheless, it's going to be a lot of jostling back and forth. This is what this you know, of course, this is pretty much what this engagement, or I should say more so this matchup between these two races, really comes down to. And it is one that, you know, it gets very interesting very quickly. So more and more Zerglings on the production tab, as well as Banelings are going to be coming in. Now Snute smartly is going ahead. He's going to continue trying to drone up, get fully saturated on 3 bases while he is continuously you know, creating army as well. This is where it's going to get interesting. Evolution Chamber's going to be coming in as well. Beautiful Baneling hits are coming in. Lots of damage being dealt all the way around for both players. Does look like Snute is a little bit ahead of that supply. And more Baneling hits. And this is where this engagement just gets really, really exciting, and it's a lot of fun. I don't know what these drones are thinking about doing. Looks like they were thinking about going to battle, but they decided, you know what, we better do what we do best, as in mining more minerals. That being said, it looks like an Evolution Chamber is going to be coming in now for Snute. Also, he's going to be going for that lair, which is going to be able to create those high-tier lair-based units. And up to this point, guys, in this series, Snute has really dictated the pace of the game, it's felt like. And that's something that I think Stephano needs to go back to doing. He really has, or at least it seems to me, that he is kind of... I don't know. It just feels like ever since that game number 1, he's just been content with playing the macro-focused game instead of just getting really aggressive on Snute. And I feel like you need to be the one dictating the pace instead of letting or allowing Snute to do that. Maybe that'll change, though, because it does look like Snute is or I should say Stephano was thinking about trying to do a little bit of some damage, but he does decide to back off. It does look like the Roach Warren is going to be coming in, so we're starting to see the tech of choice by Stephano at this point. And, you know, Snute, I mean, he's going to go ahead. He's going to start getting those +1 upgrades going. He's also got Glad Reconstitution coming in for his Roaches. And he's also getting that that 4th hatchery up as well. So Stephano looks like he just wants to get some scouting information, see exactly what is going on and what he might be dealing with here, as it's just kind of back and forth right now. You know, we're approaching that 6.5 minute mark. Looks like the lair is going to be coming in now for Stephano, and so we see that happening. Snute's going to get some beautiful scouting information to see exactly what's going on, you know, that side of the map. But oh, Stephano canceled. He canceled the lair. Wow. Okay, so he canceled the lair. So now I'm wondering, okay, why? Or was that a mistake on his part? Did he accidentally do that? Looks like he decided to go for the macro hatchery, and he's going for that 4th hatchery right now. I wonder if he's going to go for a timing attack. It looks like that might be exactly what he's doing. He's getting a lot of Zerglings on that production tab, but there's a lot of Roaches here, so I'm wondering how this is going to play out, because we've got Roaches, Ravagers, then you got a couple of Zerglings. But this is a timing attack, 100%. I really like, this is the kind of mind games I'm talking about. You see those mind games that are coming into effect, and it looks like it's all going to come down to the engagement right here, as both players are going to start jostling back and forth. Roaches, Ravagers, Zerglings coming in, and it looks like the Surround is going to try to come in as well. Stephano, I kind of like that positioning, but at the same time, his supply is starting to plummet a lot, as Snute is absolutely overwhelming his opponent right now, and it looks like this push might have ended before it even started, as his supply goes to 99, as in Stephano. Wow. So Snute it looks like Stephano's going to still try to do a little bit of some damage here, but it looks like the counterattack is coming in now for Snute, and this could be a significant issue. Looks like a lot of these drones are going down, so this might be a little bit helpful, but at the same time, is there going to be enough defense at home, as the lair is going to be coming in now for Stephano. We're past that 8-minute mark, and here we go. More and more like Roaches. GG is called, and Snute wins this game with a nice idea of a timing attack by Stephano, with just incredible defense that we've been seeing consistently throughout this series. Snute is able to obtain victory. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between Snute and Stephano, and if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace. What is going on, world? What's up, everyone? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new StarCraft 2 video. This one is between 2 players on the WCS Pro circuit. Spawning here in the top right hand corner of Lost and Found LE, playing with the red Zerg pieces. He's currently up and wants to keep this series rolling in his favor. His name is Snute. And his opponent spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. He's currently down and wants to get on the scoreboard. His name is Stephano. So, guys and girls, this series up to this point that we have, you know, as we've been talking and just, you know, been casting this, I mean, there's just been, you know, so many moments that it's felt that Stephano has had opportunities against Snute, but Snute has just shut down every single opportunity that has arisen for Stephano, and that just comes to show how incredible of a player Snute is. I mean, this guy is just such a great Zerg player, a great just StarCraft 2 gamer overall. He does, you know, he just grinded the game so much, you can tell. Stephano's a legend in and of himself, though, at the same time, played, you know, so much. He's kind of been back and forth between playing professionally and not so much, but, you know, he is still an absolute force to be reckoned with. And I'm excited to see, you know, in this game, what ends up happening between these two players. It does look like we are going to see the hatch gas pool opener from Stephano, and the same can be said for Snute. So very early on in the game, you'll see with that production tab at the top left-hand corner of the screen, you can see that, generally speaking, in the early stages of the game of ZvZ, you'll see a lot of times that very similar or near identical production tab. And then, you know, as time goes, a lot of times you'll start seeing the change happen. But that said, it looks like Snute, we are going to see him go for that metabolic boost upgrade, which of course is a Zergling speed upgrade. And then on the opposite side, it looks like Stephano's going to go for that evolution chamber. You know, I gotta say, I like some of the ideas Stephano has had. For example, in the last game, he had his natural expansion or natural hatchery. He was going ahead and was constructing a lair, and then once Snute scouted that, Stephano decided to cancel it and go for pretty much an all-in assault. Even though it didn't work, I like the idea of it. Trying to consistently play mind games when you are playing at the highest level of play, and you've played these opponents and these players so many times, it's very important to know exactly what your opponent's doing, but also just trying to kind of switch it up on your opponent and just see if you can maybe get an advantage and obtain and aggressively seek victory at any means necessary. So it does look like the third hatchery's coming in for Snute at this point, and we're going to see a Baneling nest now coming in as well for Snute. And then on the opposite side, it does look like Stephano's creating a spine crawler. He must think there's going to be some form of aggression on his side of the map, which might be a good assumption, seeing as how there are Zerglings that are starting to circle around. A good amount are starting to move towards that natural hatchery of Stephano. And Banelings are going to be coming in. Snute looks like he wants to do a decent amount of damage. So double evolution chambers are coming in. We're going to see a third one coming in. But there is a huge... This wall off, this potential wall off is not here whatsoever. So it does look like Snute is going to try to do as much damage as possible. Oh, the Baneling hits are going to be painful. And here we go. It looks like Stephano is going to try his very best to hold on here, as a lot of these Zerglings are going to do a little bit of some damage. More and more spine crawlers are going to be coming in, and it looks like they are moving into the main base location. They are nibbling away at those drones. This defense has been actually pretty good, and what this does, though, is this forces a lot of units out of Stephano, which, even though it wasn't, you know, the most aggressive of pushes, obviously it does do a little bit of, it kind of keeps the opponent on their toes. And that's why, as I said, we're talking the you know, the real-time strategy game of our time, guys. And StarCraft 2 is one that just, you do lots of jostling back and forth, and it's all about what your opponent's doing, and then how you react to that, and the counterattacks obviously are incredibly important. But I really like this counterattack by Stephano that's happening on the opposite side of the map. It does look like he's going to try to get this round on that Roach Warren. Oh, beautiful Baneling hits there by Snute. But these Zerglings are starting to nibble away, and it looks like almost an eye for an eye is coming into effect here as that third hatchery is going down now for Stephano. I would have to say at this point it feels like Stephano is a little bit behind, though, at this point, because now it looks like more and more units are going to be moving across the map for Snute. So it looks like counterattack on counterattack, and this is what I'm talking about. There just ends up being so much happening all over the map. Units are just fighting and trying to really tug a war almost for positioning as more and more units are going to be moving towards that third hatchery of Stephano. But it's a lot of back and forth. It looks like the Roach Warren's going to be coming in now for Stephano as well as the lair. So it looks like he's going to try to go for those higher tier lair-based units here very shortly, whereas Snute is still kind of just trying to macro up a nice force with what he has, which he does not have a lair as of yet. A little bit late on that lair. Missile attacks level 1 is going to be finishing up in less than 10 seconds now for Stephano, and this is where it's going to get very interesting, because as we see the unit compositions possibly change a little bit, what are both these players going to decide to do at this point? Now, it does look like Snute is going to see a little handful of Zerglings start moving across the map here, but there are Roaches that are going to meet them. But this is the kind of thing that you got to do against someone like Snute. You have got to do as much damage as humanly possible at any time that you possibly can, and there you go. It does look like Stephano is behind right now in the supply for sure, and there is no denying that. But there is one engagement that could happen that could turn the tides of the fight, as it looks like Snute is preparing to go for another assault on the opposite side of the map. Oh, it all comes down to the positioning. It all comes down to the positioning. Here we go. It is going to look like we are going to see the lair coming in now for Snute. And it looks like a lot of units are starting to move in, and they are going to be met by Roaches and Ravagers. There is a Spine Crawler that is positioned here to do it's going to be in a nice spot to really do a little bit of some damage. It does look like Snute, though, does smartly decide to retreat and head back home before, critical losses really are coming to effect. But these Zerglings are being, sacrificed for the swarm at this point, as Stephano is starting to see himself kind of clawing his way back into this game, and I like it a lot. 4 bases is what Snute's on, though. At least he's going to be on 4 bases here shortly, whereas Stephano is on 3. And it looks like he's going to go for another counterattack, and I love the decision to continue putting the pressure on Snute. When you're playing one of the best players in the world when it comes to the Zerg pieces, you want to keep that pressure going. And the absolute pressure is mounting at this point. Here we go. Snute is going to try to jump on this army. It looks like he is not afraid of Snute at this point. And the question is it going to be a little bit of enough, or is it going to be an overextension? Here we go. More and more Zerg is going to be joining this fight. That is for Stephano. Stephano wants to get on that scoreboard, at least in this game, and it looks like he is pouncing on this army, and he's got the advantage at this point. Snute's supply is starting to drop. Beautiful play here by Stephano, who is now going to start moving into that natural base location, and he has got an advantage. He knows he is ahead now and wants to do as much damage as possible. The question is this going to be a GG, and is Stephano going to get on the scoreboard? The drones are pulled off the line. That's a desperation move. Here we go. Stephano looks like he is trying to just get on the scoreboard in this series that was played at the WCS in Austin, the round of 16. Smartly, he backs off. He wants to go ahead and get that 4th hatchery. Does do that. He already did a lot of damage, and he knows that. Looks like he wisely decides to back off, at least for now. Or is he? It looks like he's going to continue the assault on all these Roaches as Snute's supply is continuing to plummet. The question is there an overextension here of Stephano? I don't know, but it looks like it's just going to come down to numbers, and it looks like the strength in numbers goes to Stephano. GG is called, and Stephano gets on the scoreboard. I hope you guys did enjoy this game in this series between Stephano and Snute. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe for new, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.